Hello once again. In usual fashion, I have zero idea what I said last time, but I just remember I went on a big tangent for a lot of it. So I don't remember what the last time I said I was gonna be like, what I was supposed to mention for this update video. I don't remember, but that's okay. So, apparent like obviously if I'm doing this, that means something either really good or really bad happened. Some noteworthy update has happened. Um, and I can't stop smiling, so obviously it's a good thing. Okay, so I can't stop smiling. I'm sorry. Um, Side note, it is actually should I say that? Not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, so it is day 555 of Codename Conqueror's development, and as of today, working beautifully. I wrote one final algorithm today on my handy dandy whiteboard, and uh, you might notice the package of markers there because those right there, those are dead, and I had to go throw them away because I got those ones now. So I had to start using little small ones. I prefer the small ones actually. They are a lot more like detail, and I write pretty light and I write pretty small. So the smaller markers I like, but they're all dead. So um I've been doing what I can with what I got. So I got had to get new markers, and I got them today, and I'm pretty happy. Anyway. The smallest things get me excited. When I get new markers for my whiteboards, I'm like, yes. I had to prevent myself from getting a fourth whiteboard. It was so cool. It was like a notebook, like a notepad. How you can just kind of like open it up and start writing. Think of it like resume paper kind of thing, where it's like a folder. Think of it like a manila folder, but on one side it's like pockets, on the other side it's just some note paper. It's that, but it's a whiteboard and you have markers. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But I had to prevent myself from getting it because I was like, no, you have like three whiteboards. You don't need another. I mean, you want another because there's never not a reason to have whiteboard. I love whiteboards. They're so awesome. Um, but you don't need this one. Also, because if I looked at the quality, it was okay. I don't like glass whiteboards. I like more of the this one. Ah! Oh. So, anyway, big tangent. I wrote the last algorithm today, and that algorithm I swear the weirdest things excite me. Like the most boring things excite me. So my algorithm was that when you submit a score on a bracket, it needs to know whether that player is going to go on the top half or the bottom half of the next set, right? So if you have two like it here and one over here, obviously the two winners of these guys have to fight like this. And you want to be able to follow along with the bracket. You don't want this guy going on bottom here because that just doesn't make sense. And you can't really follow bracket very easily. So I had to make an algorithm to say, depending on how the bracket is set up, I want this player to go on top or this player to go on bottom. But what if there's a bye? So like sometimes set of cards go like this, like just 1-to-1, in which case the winner of this one doesn't go to the top because there's already a player there and he has to go to the bottom. But then you have to account for like what if there's already a player there because it was like this and this guy got there first and he's just there, and then there's a lot of intricacies with it, but I figured it out. It wasn't that hard actually. It was actually like one of the easier algorithms I wrote. Um, but I did it, yeehaw. And with that, fun fact, um, then this is why I wanted to make the update video, was because Codename Conqueror is almost officially in beta. I have exactly four things left to do. Technically five. No, technically three. I'm looking at the whiteboard. If you see those blue marks at the list, and the last one doesn't really count because that's just filling in state data, which is like PRs and region info and whatnot, which isn't really important. Um, because that's just gonna come in time, and that's never not going to be an issue. Like I always need state data, even when the app is launched. I'm always gonna need more state data, so that's a non-issue. Um, but anyway, so with that, right now I can actually show you. Crazy, right? Okay, I'm gonna think of. So I'm actually gonna show you the whole setup. You pick a bracket, the slow and full of detail, or the quick and fast one. You let me just go to attendees. I'm gonna have my own tag, accelerate, And we're gonna do some local heroes. We're gonna do Goblin. Let's do Jake F Smash. Let's do Sean. Hobby on Earth. Beast Mode Paul. Who's another good one? SLK. We got Riot Lettuce. Shout out to the GOAT. And that's 8 people. Sure. Actually, let's subtract one. Let's subtract. I don't know who to subtract. I don't want to insult. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to subtract because I don't want to insult anybody. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna subtract Beast Mode Paul specifically because his name is too long. I'm sorry, Paul. Love you, but so you have your list of attendees. You can just whoops. List of attendees. You can add them, subtract them, whatever. I can go to seating and I can see them how I wish. I'm going to run this by, especially when the beta is out and about. I'm gonna run this by CAC to see if he likes this. Granted, this is not all the capabilities of seating. This is just literally the bare minimum, hence the beta. Um, but I can switch Goblin and me. I can switch Sean and Jake. I can select all of the bottom 4 and I can randomize them. Randomize it a few times. How's that? Boom. Now they're all randomized. Let me deselect all of them. There we go. So now I have a decent amount of seating. So we go to bracket. The bracket's made. Very cool. And you can see all the set cards. It looks very cool. All the winners round. Nice. So we have, let's say myself versus Hobby. Let's say I win 2-0. This, I don't like the way this looks at all. In fact, it's atrocious, in my opinion. I'm gonna angle it so you guys don't see a glare. I don't like the way this looks. It sucks. However, it doesn't really matter because what matters is the functionality first. I'm not the greatest in UI development. Contrary to popular belief, as you can see from the rest of those, a glorious, beautiful app. I'm not the best in UI. I could just make it. I don't know how to design or how to color code or what have you. So this is extremely simple, extremely oversimplified, but you get the point. So you hit submit, and this is the submit button I was talking about where you submit it, and then the score goes through. Just like so. Can you see it? Kind of. Yeah, okay. So you see my name goes over. So with that, I can do the entire bracket. I can run a whole single elimination tournament. And notice how specific I'm being. I can run a single elimination tournament. Anyway, so that's what I have currently. That's a lot actually. It was kind of beautiful too because while I was putting everything together for what I call the speed bracket or speed running a bracket, which is this beta-esque version, this was like the Avengers Infinity War where everything just came together. Sort of like actually more like Endgame, I guess. Anyway, the point is everything I was doing up until last week was implemented this week. Everything. The winners round array, the bracket setup, the bracket set cards, the what I learned about how to manipulate arrays and state variables and lists and seeding on how to manipulate changing of state variables and arrays and updating and all that jazz. It was everything. Everything I did, everything I learned came together. Like I spent a month straight on just like building the bracket and trying to like determine how is a bracket made? How is a loser's bracket made? How do I like pan the bracket? How do I do that? Right? How do I tap a set to make it appear? And how do I update the score? And all? I had so many questions. All of them came together and just fits. And it looks beautiful. And the best part is there are no errors. It's not that fancy, but there are no errors. Right now. There will soon be as soon as I end this video and continue working on it. There's gonna be a lot of red lines everywhere, but that's okay. Anyway, so beta is almost done, which is huge because if I have a beta to show people of a working bracket runner and encyclopedia, that's like big. Because keep in mind, the last like available project I had to show people, like, hey, that I'm working on this and it's possible, is from, I kid you not, 1 year ago. before Infinity Con. If you remember that, it didn't have. Wait, did it? Wait, yes, it is. So after Infinity Con. Whoopsies. Right after Infinity Con, like a month after. So right before, what was it? There was a major after Infinity Con. Was it like was it like Smash and Splash or something like that? Something crazy? I don't know. Anyway, before that major, I did finish the way early copy of something that looked generally like this, right? A lot of placeholder data that I showed people. What was that major? CAC was there. It was a Florida tournament. It had to be because that's all I ever go to. Anyway, tangent aside. So this version, this beta version of Conqueror is leaps and bounds ahead of the last one. And I think I mentioned it in a tweet earlier, which I might like look back on. I don't know. I want to side note. I know I keep tangenting, keep digressing and whatnot, but side note, I want to like make a compilation of all my tweets or videos or what have you to encompass like how far I've come. So if that somehow gets in here, if some fancy editing is helping me out here, I made a tweet, showed up here, me saying I lost my train of thought. What? I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh no, I've been working too hard. No, I have zero idea what I was talking about. Oh no. And I was something to do with that, I'm sure. No, why did I digress? I don't know anything anymore. Okay, fun. I'm having a great day. I don't know what I was saying. Editing a video. I remember that. If I were to ever edit a video, I hope this will get in here. A tweet of me saying something. And it was a long time ago. It wasn't that long, like a few, maybe maximum 2 months. Oh! Yes! Okay, I remember. Okay, I remember. Edit that part out. Okay. Um, it's slipping, it's slipping. Hang on. Yes, okay, I got it. Every version of Conqueror that I've had, like, tangible, like, that somebody could just have, anybody can just get on their phone by downloading essentially the tester app. It's called Expo. If you download the Expo app and scan the QR code that I send you, you can view the app. There's been four of them. The fourth one was what I was showing everybody with the looks like this kind of thing. So, or that's the most recent progress it has had. Every version before that was like, whatever, sure, cool, guess. So like this one was before Infinity Con, which had no event tab whatsoever. This one was right after Infinity Con, um, and then it did have events tab, but it didn't really have much else. I think it had the bracket. I think it had viewable brackets and pools and whatnot, but it was all like super placeholder, like ultra mega bad looking. I could probably dig up some screenshots later because I usually screenshot some progress here or there. Anyway, so this one is bigger. This fifth version, which is going to be the beta for distribution, is going to be bigger than all of these four combined, probably like exponentially. So take this, multiply it by like 10 to the fifth, and then you get this. That's how far away it is. I went from polishing up everything, making a bracket, putting everything together nicely, updating itself and cleaning up all the code and going back on it. And there was so much. I kid you not, there was so much. There was so much that changed between the fourth version and this eventual fifth version. I say eventual as in it's not posted yet, obviously, so it technically doesn't exist. But when the fifth version is done, and then it brings me to the next point. When is it done? Well, I have three more things to do. A, right now I can make any bracket, any single limited bracket, and I could run it. There are a few bugs with it, and bugs and fixes are like the last step, like just cleaning it up, make it nice, and like things like error checking for user input, right? So if I want to say Accelerate versus MKLeo wins 2-0 over Accelerate. What if somebody types 2 and a period, right? That's not a number. So it has to make sure that like, hey, you can't do that. I have to write that code somewhere to say, hey, you can't input a period. You gotta input a number, a 0 to 10 number. Because no bracket has ever gone above 10 or whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to let you. Um, so I have to do that, which is a small thing. That's a very, very small thing. That's error checking and um, bug fixing, which is going to be like the last step. Anyway, so right now I can only do 32 people. I coded the bracket algorithm up to 64. I coded the how do I explain this to people who don't know what I was doing? Um, every set is uniquely identifiable. So if I have a 32-man tournament and I have a 33-man tournament, there's one extra set there for that one extra person. That extra set does not exist in the 32-man tournament, nor does the data that identifies with it. There's two different things going on here. There's the data and there's the UI, right? If the data has to exist for the UI to exist, that's just how it works. Um, so the UI shows up with the data to port in. If there's a set that says, if you have Accelerate versus MKLeo, you have to put that in the set. If I don't have a set, if I don't have the data to go with the UI set, then there's an error and it crashes. That's just how it works. So, um, for every number of people in a tournament from 4 to 64, so 60 different combinations, 60 different possibilities, not only do I have to make the bracket to account for that, and have to make the set data to account for that, which is like, there's so many things to explain. I'm gonna skip that one. That's not important. But I also have to uniquely describe every single set for every single possibility. So say winners finals set would get uniquely identified 60 times. But depending on which one it is, I don't know until you make a bracket. That was a poor example because winners finals is always the same. Because it doesn't matter what bracket you have, winners finals is always blank because, right? Unless you have two people, in which case you don't use my app because you can sort that out amongst yourself. So if you have a 4-man bracket, minimum 4-man bracket, and if that's 2v2 and then the winners finals is always blank. It's always the exact same, which is easy. However, that's not the case for everything else. So I wrote that up to 32 players, and that's why I can run a tournament with only 32 players. It's because I only uniquely identified 32 different scenarios. My bad. Not my bad, but like I got lazy. So bracket can handle 64 people, but I only uniquely identified 32 of them. So I have to go back and spend like another 3 hours to uniquely describe the other 32. And it's not like I did it halfway and only it takes another half amount of time. That's not how that works. It's like a tree, like a bracket, like a tree. So the first 32 went pretty fast because it was you identify 4 sets, then you identify 5 sets, then you identify 6 sets, and that's pretty easy to keep track of because it's small, small, small. But when you get to 32, I have to identify 33, then 34, then 35, and it adds much quicker. So it's like a factorial, if you will. So that's going to take me a lot longer than the first half, and I'm not looking forward to that. So I have to finish that for a single elimination bracket, and then the fun part. I have to do that for double elimination. And you might be asking, why is it any different? Well, it's not really, except that it is. I have to, the sets describe the sets who's next. I'm explaining this way too much. No, you guys don't care. If you do care, let me know. But and I can explain it all. But there's a lot going on in his mind. I keep forgetting that I'm losing people, and I gotta just get to the point. I'm sorry. So anyway, I only have 32 people. I made room for 64, so I just filled the other 32, which is gonna take forever. And then I have to do that entire thing for a double elimination bracket. Fun. Because losers has to exist, right? And losers, fun fact, is as difficult as winners bracket. I thought it was twice as hard, but it's not, thankfully. So I have to do that for double elimination bracket. Um, which also involves bracket theory. And bracket theory I touched on earlier, I'm pretty sure, which was how do you plug in the losers of the winners into the losers so that they don't have to repeat different scenarios. Like, right? I don't want to have to lose to Joe Schmo in round two and then have to fight Joe Schmo again in round three. Like, that just makes no sense. So trying to avoid replaying sets is ideal. And I think Smash GG did it fine. So I'm probably gonna mimic their algorithm. So that's one. Allowing a double elimination bracket, which is I think mandatory, because I need to have a double elimination bracket because that's like the standard for everything. So mimicking a double elimination bracket is mandatory for the beta to be finished, which I don't think it's not gonna be hard. It's just gonna be so goddamn tedious to do it over and over and over. I did it already for so many things. Um, what the heck does that say? Oh, um, event information. So the title, the description, the rule sets, all that jazz. I have room for it, but I have not quite exactly made it, if that makes sense. Like I made the room on the UI for putting a title here, title of your event, title of your bracket, but I didn't exactly make it editable yet. You can't actually type there. Well, you can type there for the event title and the bracket title, but not the description. And I have a plan for that, but I have to like I've been procrastinating implementing that plan because it's kind of weird and I'm not sure how it will come out, but who knows. Um, that so double allowing a double elimination bracket, updating the event info, which is what I just said. There's Conqueror data, so like state data, which doesn't really matter. Data or data. I prefer data when I'm talking fast, so it sounds more pronounced, but data is usually what I say. Um, which I don't really count. Like I said, I don't count that as a step. It's like a non-issue. So that's technically still two steps because Conqueror state data is never going to stop. Um, and then there's posting an event to the servers. So these, oopsies, these are sets from a local server I made, like just a simple localhost, and it pulls that data here. If I actually can actually show you, if I restart the app, I accidentally shut off my phone. Oopsies. Okay, if I shut off the app and I open the screen and I go to events, you'll see it wait a little bit because it's loading because it's pulling the data from the server. Loading. Whoop, there it is. So, um, and that's actually one of the small bugs. If you notice that those three titles, the recently viewed, featured, and happening this week, those three titles were all up here, and then it filled out down here. That's also a kind of a bug because I don't want that to happen. I want them to stay here. I want them to stay in these respective spots. I'll get that. I'll get to it when I get there. Again, that's like a small bug fix that doesn't really matter right now. Anyway, so those cards here, I want to be able to make my event, like create this event right here. Oops, come on, cancel. There we go. And then I want to show up here, which I know how to do, but I'm a little scared of doing it because I don't think I know how to do it right. Like I'm confident that I know the premise, but I don't know if I know the syntax. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and digging on that one. Because obviously I know how to fetch data. I know how to get the data from the server. That's right there. Um, but I don't know how to post data to the server, and nor I don't know how that's gonna work. But who knows? Maybe it will go out great. So that's the only three things I need to do for the beta is posting the data, which isn't even really that much of an issue because I won't have servers up and running for the beta. It's just gonna be what I have here. So again, that's kind of a non-issue. So all I really need to do is I gotta keep looking. I keep forgetting. The information for the event so that I want to make sure that you can upload a picture for your logo. I want to make sure that your events can have a banner. And making it so a double elimination bracket works, which is not hard, just tedious. And then it comes to my last point, which I remember mentioning way earlier, about why I was smiling so much. Um, this coming week is my birthday. It is February 4th. So right now it's January 30th, 2 days before the end of the month, and my birthday is this coming Friday. Um, I haven't had the greatest of birthdays ever. I don't think. I remember some really fun ones when I was really young, but um, yeah, I'm hoping it would be fun. My goal is to have Conqueror's beta working by my birthday so that I can give it to people and be like, hey, it's here, or hey, it's my birthday and I just want you to enjoy this beta version of Conqueror. That's kind of what I want to do. I don't know if the beta is going to make it public or not. I don't. Um, but I mentioned this because for my birthday, I kind of wanted to host a Smash Brothers Fest. And if you were watching this and you know what I'm talking about, because I made a tweet literally today saying, I kind of want to host a Smash Brothers Fest at my house, um, probably this coming weekend. And I said that because I low-key wanted people over for my birthday party, for a birthday party, because I didn't think anybody would come otherwise. Um, and if that does happen, then I'll surprise them then by saying, hey, Conqueror's beta is available and I want to use it right now. And I'll make a little bracket with everyone who's at my house and see how people think like the app. That's the plan. Um, but no plan ever survives contact with reality. Um, I'll be turning 23 if you're curious. So my 23rd birthday, and I'm not sure how to take it. I've never had positive experience. I never really had positive experiences with my birthday, so I kind of want to ignore it. But at the same time, I really want to be, um, I really want it to be positive or memorable so that it can like wash away everything else or all the other birthdays. But I am not holding my breath. My goal is to get the Conqueror beta out before my birthday so that if need be, if I decide to do it, I can advertise it then. But I don't see it coming. But I will probably be using the beta in a field test if I do have a Smash Fest on Friday. Who knows? Yeah, I'm sorry for ranting. Uh, I remember I cried when I first had Conqueror's map done, and I don't know if the tears are gone or what have you, but maybe it'll hit me later when people like my app or when it's officially published on the App Store. But right now, it's getting there. It's really, really, really close. And it's a lot closer than I thought I'd ever get to it. It's a lot closer than I ever thought I was gonna get. Especially with no help from absolutely anyone. None. Almost none. Almost none. Very minimal help from others. Because, of course, nobody else knows coding. Nobody else knows React Native development. And nobody else knows what Conqueror is. So people who I talk about it with, which is very small, don't even know how I'm doing it, which is very lonesome. Is doing this by myself all the time, and I I kind of wish it ends sooner. I just want to start talking about it. I just want to start like ranting about it, but nobody really cares. Um, which is really counterintuitive considering I'm making these little update videos in case anybody was curious or anybody wanted to know. Um, but I'm in the stage where it just feels awfully lonesome. Where I'm doing all this and all I really want is a person to talk about it with. Um, I'm not just somebody who like knows what Conqueror is, but knows what coding is and what React Native is, and they could talk about it with me, and they could say like we can discuss things like is this good idea, is this bad idea, um, but that the person doesn't exist right now. There may in the future. That'd be great, but it's awfully sad. But I dug myself into this hole. That's my fault. It was kind of necessary. The whole secretive thing. That's where I'm at. So I just hope I don't remain lonely on Friday. That would suck. Yeah. Next update, I'm going to try to remember. It's going to be difficult to not remember this one because the next update is probably going to be the day that Conqueror's beta will be released. And I'll make a Twitter video as well, like a public version for censoring all the important information. I'll probably make a Twitter public disclosure thing saying, hey, Conqueror's beta is now available to secret people or like a high echelon of beta testers. So, with that being said, thank you for helping me waste 30 of your minutes. If you did actually wait this long, like watch the entire thing, I cannot fathom that you do exist because I don't think anybody would watch this. But if you did, you have my utmost of appreciation and respect. Um, Let me know if you did watch the entire way through. And let's do something fun. If you did watch the entire way through, I want you to like comment or if you're close to me, DM me. If you're watching this like on YouTube or something and you don't know me very well, you can comment on YouTube and say a random word like joy. Spread the joy, right? I want the word to be joy. Just mention joy. I wanted it to be something positive, you know? I was gonna say something like I'm not gonna say that word. Because if I say that word, people are gonna meme it in the comments instead. I'll just say that word instead. I'm not gonna say that word. Um, but just say the word joy to let me know that you did in fact watch all the way through. And that would make my day. That would make my week, honestly. Just to see that. Anyway, I wasted enough of your time. Next update's probably gonna be when Conqueror is done and released. Not released, but like beta's released. So I'll see you guys then. Please take care of yourselves. Hydrate. I gotta put my finger over the stop recording button so I can do this dramatically. Until next time.